Hey, Team Impact. It's Monday. We're going to get started here with measurement conversions. I'm just going to skip this top part. We're going to start with the vocabulary here. So this is student handout 3, and we're in unit 5, so it's 5-3. Let's get started here. A measurement can be converted to represent an equal amount with a different measurement unit. Example, inches to feet, grams to kilograms, ounces to pounds. Represent the conversion with a proportion, all right, unit rate, or ratio table. So there's a bunch of different ways to do this today. I'm with the metric system. I'm going to show you a little bit different way to do it than, but we're really not responsible for the metric system, but they're dabbling it in here, so we might as well chat about it. A bag of flour weighs 4 pounds. The flour is priced per ounce, right? How many ounces of flour are in the bag, right? Well, if we were to list this ounces and pounds, all right, and we know that there's 16 ounces in 1 pound, 2 pound has 32, 3 and 4, we could scale it up that way, right? This is what, 40, 48, and that would be 50, 54. So there's 64, sorry about that, 64 ounces. That's one way to do it, to scale it up. Certainly 64 ounces is there, or we could have just taken 4 times 16 and got 64 ounces. Either way's fine. I just used a table there because that's what they gave us. Number 2, the distance between two cities is 4 kilometers. So we want to know what 4 kilometers equals how many meters. All right. Instead of setting up a ratio, what I'm going to do is give you a mnemonic device. All right. We're going to make boxes here. So watch. All right. King Hector drives, but doesn't crash much. If you can make 7 boxes and go like that, and under the B put meter, liter, and gram, you can convert in the metric system. Well, what do you mean? Okay, so instead of knowing that there's 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters, we can just move the decimal point. Well, the decimal point and the number 4 is right there. I'm at kilometers, and I'm going to where? Meters. This is milli, okay? So let's get that out of the way right now. Don't get confused with that. So this is kilo, hecto, deca, base units of meter, liter, and gram, deci, centi, okay, and milli. All right, so if I want to go from kilo to a base unit, I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3 places to the right. 1, 2, and 3. So it equals 4,000 meters. That's the easiest way to do it with the metric system instead of setting up a ratio. All right, let's go back to the table. And in class, I would do a bunch more of these with you. Joan is 42 inches. What is Joan's height in feet? Okay, so let's go ahead and label what we have here. We have inches and feet. All right, and we know that there's 12 inches in 1 foot. Okay, there's 24 inches in 2 feet. All we're doing is multiplying that. There's 36 inches in 3 feet, and there's 48 inches in 4 feet. Okay, so 42 inches falls in between here, right? So if we took 42 and divided it by 12, right? I'll grab my calculator. So we're going to get a decimal here, right? But let's do that. 42 divided by 12 is 3.5. Let me turn the light on so you can see it. There. So that's another way to do it. 3.5 what? Feet is 42 inches. That's another way to do it. Or you could have just counted, how many more inches past is it? then that, well, it's 36 is, and 6 more is 42. 42, there it is. And still you would have to divide. Number 4. A hot chocolate recipe calls for 2.5 gallons of milk. How many quarts of milk are needed? All right, well, we know that 1 gallon equals 4 quarts, right? Okay, so knowing that, I'm going to go ahead and set up a ratio, okay? 2.5 gallons, all right? And we're looking for the quarts, right? That's what we're looking to see what equals, all right? 1 gallon to 4 quarts, okay? So how am I getting from 1 to 2.5? Right? I'm multiplying it by 2.5, right? So I can multiply this by 2.5. And when we take 4 and we multiply it by 2.5, we get 10. So that's one way to do it, 10 quarts. Scaling it up in our proportion. That's all. Okay so far? Let's flip it over. All right, let's do it again here. How many cups are in 8 quarts? Okay. Well, this is a little bit more involved, right? So, how many cups are in 8 quarts here? So I know that there's 1 cup equals, there's 2 cups and 1 pint. I know there's 2 pints equals what? 1 quart, right? So if I know that, I know that there's 4 cups in 1 quart, right? Because there's 2 cups in a pint. If I have 2 pints, right, I'll have 4 cups. So one way to do this is just to take it 8 times 4 and get 32 quarts. That's one way, okay? But another way to do this is to set up a proportion, right? So we know we have 8 quarts. I got that from there, is 1 pint, all right? And we know we have what? 4 cups in what? 1 quart, okay? So again, we could just multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms, and we end up with 32 quarts. Either way is fine. Either way is fine. Let's continue on. Sorry, that's 32 cups. Okay. How many centimeters are in 12 kilometers? So we want 12 meters equals how many centimeters? Remember King Hector? King Hector drives, but doesn't crash much. Here's how I would do the easiest way to do it in the metric system. And we really should use the metric system. It's actually a lot easier. But if I'm at meters, a base unit, and I want to go to centi, I just go 1, 2 to the right? And that ends up being 1,200. So the answer is 1,200 centimeters. So it is. Okay. How many pounds are 96 ounces? Okay. Well, I want to know 96 ounces equals how many pounds? Now, I know underneath, I'm going to show you kind of a little bit of a different way, a third way to do this in the customary system. 16 ounces equals 1 pound, right? So we're going from a big number to a little number. And if we think these are in a fraction form, we're going to divide. A fraction's a fancy way to write a division problem. But also, to get from big to little, we would divide. So another way to look at that is like so. 96 divided by 16 is 6 pounds. So we could write 6 there and just circle it up. So just trying to show you different ways to do it. We went back to a proportion. I said it, actually like this way the best. It's the easiest. How many yards are in 126 feet? 126 feet equals how many yards? Well, 1 foot equals, 3 feet equals 1 yard. Big to little, I divide. So I could actually do this into my head. 3 2s, it's 42 yards. Big to little, divide. Little to big, we multiply. Okay, and I'll probably stick to this method more in class today. At the local health food store, macadamia nuts are priced at 45 cents per ounce. Taylor measures out 1 3/4 pounds of nuts. How much will Taylor pay for the macadamia nuts? So we want, all right, to know what 1 3/4, all right, pounds costs. So we want to know what that costs. Okay, so if it's 45 cents an ounce and there's 16 ounces in a pound, let's start with that. Let's start with writing or multiplying 16 times 0.45. All right, and we end up with $7.20, right, per pound. So now I'm going to take 1 3/4 and I'm going to multiply that by 7.20. That's what it costs per pound. I'm almost getting 2 pounds. So a reasonable answer should just be about 13 or so if I was going to guesstimate. But anyway, 1 3/4 times 7.2 is $12.60. So it's $12.60, and there it is. Again, there's different ways to do it, but let's not make this more difficult than it is, right? All right, last one. Mrs. Alejandro placed 4 cards on the table on the board, which does not have the same distance. So we got yards, feet, inches, and feet. Well, these two clearly are not the same, right? And they're in the same label though. So whatever 36 yards would become, so I would just take 36 times 3, right? And you're going to see this pop up pretty easy, right? 36 times 3 is 108. So I'm guessing it's that one, but let's convert the inches. So this to feet. So we're going to divide. We're going to take 1296 and divide that by 12. Okay. 1296 divided by 12. Oops. Sorry. 1296 divided by 12 is 108. So that also is 108 feet. So clearly that does not fit in. All right.